I judge all music festivals by the quality of their porta potties. These are looking stellar, looking like a great place to party. Usually there's a lot of people at the main stages, and then there's a lot of people at the porta potties.
I'm Erick Baker, and I've lived in Tennessee my entire life. However, for the last decade, touring the world, I've only seen it passing by from a windshield. But finally, Tennessee is calling me back where I belong.
There's a place you've never been. It's right where you want to be.
I want to rediscover how great my home state is, and I want you to come with me.
Uncharted.
It's May and I'm in Memphis, which where I come from can only mean one thing. It's time for the Memphis in May International Festival. For the folks around here, that means 4 fantastic weeks of music, food, fun, and culture, celebrating the home of rock and roll and the blues. But I must admit, it's not just the music that's brought me to town. I've heard whispers over the last few years that something magical is happening in Memphis. A renaissance, you might say. In fact, the city that was until recently known primarily for its tense and turbulent past has rallied to redirect the passion for which it has always been known in a more positive direction. Memphis has always been a city of gumption and grit. In these days, it's that same gumption that's giving them the foundation to emerge as a cornerstone of cultural significance for the new American South. And as is frequently the case with this hopeless romantic, as I've looked into the new face of a city I thought I knew well, it's caused me to look back into my past, remembering all the times Memphis and its many marvels played a part in making me who I am. We'd often drive into Memphis to see my Aunt Mott and Uncle Dick. And when we did, they would load us up in the back of their blue El Camino and either take us all to Liberty Land or to Mud Island. I have very vivid memories of one hot summer day walking barefoot through the model of the Mississippi River with my cousin and my sister.
So one of the fun things that you can do, I guess that you can do, so one of the fun things I'm gonna do, you can float things from the beginning of the Mississippi, the whole model of the Mississippi, all the way down to the Gulf. So while I'm here today, I found a new friend right as we walked in. I'm gonna call him Gary. Gary, our little green fish. And I am gonna float him all the way down the Mississippi. And we're off, our journey has begun.
Mud Island River Park is located on a peninsula in downtown Memphis, right in the middle of the Mississippi River. And it was opened in 1982 and is a dedication to the natural and cultural history of the lower Mississippi River. We tell a little bit of history, a little bit of geography. We have an 18-gallery Mississippi River Museum that has 2 full-size reconstructed boat models inside. It's kind of an informal learning area when you have this great outdoor area like the Riverwalk model where kids can splash and stroll down it and have more of a fun experience of learning. And then you have the more formalized galleries with the Mississippi River Museum where kids can kind of slow down. It's a full sensory audio, video, so they can get a lot more information from inside the museum galleries. And then of course we have the pedal boats where they can have fun, and also the monorail, which brings you across from our front street entrance to the island itself. The Riverwalk model is an exact scale replica of the lower Mississippi River from Cairo, Illinois to the Gulf of Mexico. Every step that you take on the Riverwalk model is a mile on the actual Mississippi. Each of the contour ridges in the channel represent 30 feet of depth, so you can find out how deep it can become in front of any particular city. Basically every sandbar, every meander, every curve, everything is exact on the actual Mississippi as it is on our model.
There goes our good friend Gary, who's made it all the way to Missouri.
The Mississippi has an effect on so many people, on so many cities, so many communities. Places like Memphis wouldn't exist if there wasn't the Mississippi River here. The reason that the early settlers and explorers came to this area was because of the Mississippi River. And even though today we somewhat take it for granted, in a lot of areas it provides drinking water, recreation, commerce, industry. It's a very large component in the entire United States.
All right, Gary is so far so good on our journey. He's feeling right at home. Because as you can see right here, we've just gone into the great state of Tennessee.
You get a little bit of everything. You get the outdoors, you get the indoors, you get the history, you get the fun. We try to have a little bit of everything for every age group and every background. For those that want to learn every little detail about the lower Mississippi River and its whole 9,554 miles, or if they just want to kind of quickly come and walk the Mississippi and just find a couple of places that they're familiar with. So you can walk the whole lower Mississippi from Cairo to the Gulf of Mexico in 5 city blocks.
After spending the day here, I'm so glad to see that it's still as good as I remember. But as I've grown, so has the park. And what once represented a way to cool down from the concrete now also gives me a glimpse into the genius that made this city what it is today. Positioned as it is on this magnificent muddy highway, Memphis has played a role in connecting the simple silos of West Tennessee to the entire world, demanding a seat at the table of trade and economics. By curating this history as they have, Mud Island allows Memphians to tell that proud story to not only some of the smallest travelers that pass through, but even seasoned sightseers such as myself.
So last season, we took a brief look at how TWRA helps keep boaters and anglers alike safe on one of the many lakes of Tennessee. But when you're talking about one of the largest rivers and commercial waterways in the world, staying safe takes on a whole new meaning. So this evening, I'm tagging along to take a closer look.
As a kid, all I really knew about the Mississippi was just how dangerous it can be. Strangely, it was my dad that instilled this healthy fear in me. In fact, he and his friends used to water ski on this river, behind barges. And the way he tells it, they would catch a wake so big that they would completely lose sight of the boat going over the other side. As a teenager, I kept these stories in mind as I sauntered my way into town, set on finding some wild adventures of my own. Journeying out on the river today, I realized how much I overlooked during those early escapades. Not only in terms of the city, but the biological wealth of the river that acts as its lifeblood.
Are you out here every day?
I wouldn't say every day, but I'd say, several days a week, especially the weekends. People love to come, watch the sunset. Maybe they could be a midweek concert going on. There's a lot of the local boaters and even local people, because this harbor offers a place to come where people aren't as afraid as they would be on the Mississippi.
Right.
They can anchor out in the harbor. They can listen to the concerts over here on Mud Island. Of course, during the Memorial Weeks, July the 4th, that kind of thing, the fireworks shows, people come in, sit up on Tom Lee Park, all the boats come out, and we provide a security zone, for that kind of thing.
Okay. Tell me about some of the wildlife on this river.
I believe there's about 50 different mammals located on the Mississippi.
Okay.
From the smallest ones, the little rodents, to all the way to the deer and stuff like that. About 60% of the U.S. North American migratory birds use this as a flyway. A couple years ago, we even had a manatee swim up the Mississippi River. And
Awesome.
matter of fact, came up this very harbor that we were just in.
Really? Made it all the way this far?
Made it up this far, and they called SeaWorld in and made some attempts to catch him. But
yeah.
He eluded capture and got away, and I guess swam back south.
Now he's partying
I'm not
in
sure.
New Orleans.
Maybe so. Or manatee heaven.
That's right.
Either way.
Exactly. This is, again, it's the mighty
Right.
Mississippi River.
Right.
It's a dangerous
waterway. I mean, this is way different than floating around on your
The river
local
changes
lake.
from day to day. The river flows anywhere from 2 to 5 knots, which is going to be, say, 3 to 7 miles an hour, to make it relative to what people are used to.
Okay.
You have a mechanical issue on the water, more than likely you're not going to have enough rope to anchor yourself. You're not going to be in a place where it's safe to anchor. You're going to be moving. And you're out here with the commercial traffic. You have recreational boaters and commercial traffic going on at the same time. And those barges, they can't just stop or maneuver out of the way. So you got to really be conscious of that. And so it's not the typical, oh, we're going to go out here and go skiing on the Mississippi River. Our main objective is to educate people on boating safety.
Okay.
Unfortunately, at times we have to do that in the form of a citation, just if you were caught speeding. If you're going to come out here on the river, I would know my boat very well, mechanically. You can't pull over on the side and call for a tow truck. I mean, you're going to be floating. You need to have a plan.
Yeah.
You need to file that float plan, let everybody know where you're going, maybe even the guy at the marina. Hey, you know, the first time we're here, we're going out, maybe exchange phone numbers. I do that a lot. I pass my card out, you know, hey, call me. I may not be there. I may know somebody that is there. If I have an opportunity to see some minor infraction or realize, oh, that boat just cut across a rock dike, or he's out of the channel and he doesn't know it, you know, we're not out here to just, hey, sign here, here's your citation. We take it as an opportunity to educate them and go, hey, you'll enjoy this river if you'll learn more about it.
In chatting with TWRA, I see the heart they have for helping folks connect to this incredible resource. From educating boaters on how to safely navigate waters with a set of rules all their own, to acting as stewards of the hundreds of varieties of birds, fish, and mammals that call these channels home, these officers strive to serve the visitors of the Mississippi and buoy them as they make memories of their own. So yesterday, I got to make some moves on the mighty Mississippi. But today, it's time to enjoy another Memphis staple, music. First, though, I got to do my part to keep the old belly blues at bay. So I've stopped by Central Barbecue to take a closer look at grub that's so good, it demands around-the-clock operation. I think anytime you go to a new place, you walk in and you're wondering if it's going to be good or not, and wondering if this is your place. As I walked in today, saw this shirt right here behind me, and I knew that this is the place for me. The Mississippi River has a strong effect on people. But as soon as you catch a whiff of a certain smoky scent that travels on the wind around Memphis, you'll be hard-pressed to argue that there is any pull stronger than the aroma of pork. At the moment, Memphis is right in the middle of a restaurant renaissance. With as much soul as this city has to offer, they're serving up scintillating dishes that say as much about the culinary arts as they do the history of the South. And with their tie-dyed tops, barbecued nachos, and lengthy list of local microbrews, Central Barbecue proves they know how to bring the ballads of barbecue to a crowd of even the most distinguished palates.
So here we have our pork shoulders.
Yes.
We serve this every morning. We cook it for 12 hours. We put it on at 6 o'clock at night.
Okay.
It's all night. And we take it off first thing in the morning.
Right on. So
All right.
that's got some time invested in it.
Well, you want to hold it like that.
Okay.
And you want to slide it underneath this best you can.
Okay.
All right, so you're good.
Okay.
You want to hold this bone.
Okay.
Then hold it together, like so. Just like this.
Okay.
And we're going to pull it off. We're going to put it on aluminum foil. Got it. It's hot now. Hurry up. All right, so next thing you want to do is see these bones and pull these out.
Okay.
Before we wrap it up.
Oh,
Good
wow.
job. Good job.
Always,
That's
always
also
a good sign when the bone comes out that
exactly.
easy, right?
Yeah.
Man, you got a crew busting it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a regular morning? I mean, how much food are y'all preparing each day?
Lately, for this spring, actually, I've been cooking at least 200 to 300 ribs a day.
Dang!
Yeah, this morning I had to pull off 60 shoulders. Yeah. I mean,
60
it is
of
what it is.
60 of these.
Yeah.
Where are we going from here?
You're gonna put it on top, and then you're gonna sort of make a pocket out of it. You're gonna tuck this underneath it.
Okay.
That's deep. Deep.
Oh,
Yeah, get it in there, man.
Okay.
All right, so we got that.
It's like a barbecue burrito.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All
You
right.
want to pack both sides in.
Okay.
Start to roll it up.
All right. This is where you say, man, Eric, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, man, you're actually doing good.
Low expectations, buddy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Secretly, you have your own barbecue restaurant.
That's right, exactly. Why are so many people eating this barbecue?
Oh, man, because Memphis May and Memphis, it is what it is. It's good barbecue.
Craig and I were buddies. He was playing football and I had a soccer team, and we had this soccer team, football team, barbecue team that we cooked in Memphis and May. You can imagine 250 people cooking barbecue. This happened 30 years ago. So we've been cooking together for over 30 years. We started cooking in contests. So we started bringing contests, competitive style barbecue, and the trick was spices. We just used tons of spices. I don't know if you saw in the kitchen, but everything's got a rub on it.
Yeah.
And so we have our own specific rub. Craig and I came up with the sauce. We make our sauces and our rubs, and we cook everything in the pit with rubs on them. We don't put sauce in the pit.
Okay.
We sauce them later.
Okay.
And so people can have the sauce to the side as that, but the meat comes out dry and already flavorful. You can eat it just like that, or you can add
the sauce.
You can add sauce to kick it up a notch.
The reason that you should come here is because the quality and the consistency. That sets us apart from anybody else in town.
The roots of Central Barbecue are rooted in the Memphis culture and in this city.
Yes, it's the paying respect and tribute to the roots of barbecue as a whole. It may not be just in Memphis, but in Mississippi, Alabama, anywhere. It's a southern thing. You know, it's regional. You have Texas, Carolina, and all that. This is what Memphis is about, is blues, brew, and barbecue. And we try and represent that.
You got it all here, right?
We sure try to.
Another factor that helps Memphis is, Memphis's one of the nicknames is we're the hardwood capital of the world. There's tons of hickory tree. It's part of the barbecue flavors. It's hard to go by a restaurant that's smoking something with hickory that you don't want to think,
You're giving the flavor of Memphis one bite at a time. I love it. And thank y'all for letting us come hang out with y'all. Ooh-wee, that looks good. The party is just getting started here at Central Barbecue. We got wings, we got brisket, we got chicken, we got sauces. I'm gonna put this camera down, get my hands dirty. Brews, blues, and barbecue. Central Barbecue just gave me a taste of each of those. So if you'd been here back in 1996, you might have run into a much younger, and if I do say so myself, less handsome version of me, attending his very first music festival. Looking back on it now, watching all these bands play their hearts out on stage, it's quite possible that attending this festival back then helped plant the seed of what would later lead to my career in music. But just like the city that hosts this celebration each year, this festival has grown and diversified, providing a home for the young and old, rap and rock, vegetarian and carnivore alike. And in doing so, they've not only provided an outlet for locals to lie by the shores of the Mississippi shoulder to shoulder with neighbors of every sort, but for visitors to sip a spoonful of the melting pot that makes this city so marvelous.
1977, 39 years.
So how did it start?
It started on the corner of Beale Street and 3rd with just a bunch of musicians that decided they wanted to get together and have a little mini festival, and it's grown after year after year after year, and 39 years later, over 100,000 people over the weekend.
Wow. The distant sound of music, the roar of the crowd, the smell of beer and sweat, and something funny that's burning in the air. It's music festival time, folks. Beale Street Music Festival time. go check it out. The Beale Street Music Festival is just a part of Memphis in May, right?
Right. Memphis in May International Festival is a month-long celebration of heritage, culture, music, and food. So the first week starts off with all the music.
Okay.
So you have...
So this is the kickoff.
This is the kickoff. Next week is all International Week. Every year we honor a different country, and this year is Poland. Next year, I can't tell you who it is because we kind of keep it as a secret until it goes. But every year, over 39 years, we've celebrated and honored a country that we do trade with, and their culture, their food, their music.
Why celebrate Poland?
It gives a little bit of the world to Memphis through art, culture, and history.
So what else? After
that, it's Barbecue Festival. It's the International World Championship of Barbecue. Okay. We have barbecue teams from all over the world come in. They cook and compete for anything but, all the way to whole hog, to ribs, to shoulder, and the grand champion becomes a world-renowned sensation, and their barbecue has become famous. Really? So it's truly, this whole park now becomes a city of barbecue teams.
Yeah.
And you'll have over 100 barbecue teams from all over the country and all over the world competing. Everyone that's coming in from around the country, around the world, gets to celebrate our heritage. And our heritage is so rich in music. Our heritage is so rich in food.
Yes.
Our heritage is soul, rock and roll. It all started here.
What I've found is it's a very diverse crowd.
Right.
Very diverse lineup.
Absolutely.
Is that intentional? I mean, are you wanting to create a melting pot, I guess, so to speak?
Absolutely. I mean, the Music Fest is a diversity of all types of acts and flavors. So there's something for everyone, whether you're the younger demographic or you're the older demographic.
Yes.
Just like tonight, last night we had Flaming Lips, was somewhat of a younger crowd. Tonight we have John Fogerty.
Yeah.
So there's a lineup every hour on the hour, 5 different stages, 65 different bands, and this year we have 33 first-time acts that are coming into Beale Street Music Fest.
Wow. Someone who's wanting to come in and get a feel for the city and have a great time.
Memphis in May, there's nothing better. You've got music, food, culture, arts, and a celebration of a country to truly learn about the history of that culture, and then to learn about the blues and barbecue in Memphis.
Well, let's go check out that beer garden.
You got it. All right. I'm in.
All right.
I'm in.
Dude.
Yeah.
In Memphis.
We're here 6-7 hours away from our distillery, but sending our shine out to people here at the festival. You know, we've got a great response so far. This festival sort of embodies what our company is. You know, we're all about music, we're all about having fun, and we're all about sharing moonshine, and it just seems like the demographic here and everyone really picks up on it, and we're really having a good time. You want to try some?
Hey, you've been moving that around.
I know.
Story.
Peach, Mark Rogers, who's on the show Moonshiners, he made this product and he endorses it always for us, and he's at the distillery quite often, and 70 proof peach moonshine. Give it a shot, man.
Here's to East Tennessee moonshine. At Beale Street, here in Memphis.
From the mountains to the Mississippi.
Sun setting, sips up.
Sips up, bro. I'll try some too.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, all right.
Cool. Much love, brother.
You too.
Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'll just take this with me.
Yeah, it's yours.
So no music festival is complete without some food. So we were walking by and saw a whole rack of meat. I've been seeing these people walking around with these big old turkey legs. Never had a big old turkey leg at a music festival. So I'm going in. I want that guy right there.
This one, man?
Yeah, brother.
All right, bro. Here. It's too hot.
Too hot?
Yeah.
Too hot to hold?
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you. Can I bite right? Am I ready to go? All right. Beale Street Music Festival, baby. Big old turkey legs. Getting ready for this episode, when I told people I was headed to Memphis, some responded by saying things like, "Oh, you better be careful," or "Make sure you hold on to your wallet." And I must admit, I kind of saw Memphis that way as well, but I was wrong. Because even though I've spent a lot of time here, I've never seen Memphis like this. It has truly been redeemed.
And in rising up, Memphians have mastered showcasing not just their soul, but their strength as well. So the question is, are you ready for a revival? It's here waiting for you, and everyone is welcome to come join the celebration. If you don't know how to get here, just follow the soft blue-stained neon of Beale Street, and you'll find it. It's a place that's still set to the steady rhythm of that old big river, where angels dance in blue suede shoes and the wind carries the welcome smell of a whole hog over an open flame. But if you listen close, you'll also hear a new song emerging. A song raised up by the hard strum of a sweat-soaked rosewood six-string, singing the praises of a city that by some has almost been forgotten. A song that's shouting out over the turbulent times of its past, tired of being overlooked. Many of the words are still being written, but no matter how you sing it, it's still Memphis. And there are few cities that sound this good.